That will be at the top of your screen. 2 is Russia, 3 is Ukraine, 4 is Germany, and well, there's an interesting lineup here. Marcus Gross, that really talented 21-year-old, he's going to drive the boat again, and behind him will be Norman Brockel, as per last season. But there's 2 new faces in the K4. Robert Gleinhardt sits in the engine room in seat 3, and at the back, none other than Max Hoff, the world champion. I guess a little bit of experimentation here from the Germans to see how this runs before they make their final selection decisions. Lane 5 is the Chinese crew. Lane 6, of course, the ever-young, ever-present Slovakian K4. Bags of experience in this boat with the Ritzdorfer brothers, Richard and Michal, with Eric Fleck and Juraj Tar behind him at the right at the back. Well, these will be such a strong boat to battle through the field. 7, we will have the Australians. Lane 8 is Denmark, and lane 9, the Spanish crew nearest the screen. And that's Michael Yera in lane 9 of Spain, right at the front of your viewpoint, and he's heading off the boat. But as I say, this could well be down to Germany in 4, Slovakia in 6 being the big boats out here racing today. And you can see the black boat of Germany just taking a short lead out ahead of the rest of the field. Inside him, the Russians in lane number 2, easily identifiable by that lime green sprayed X. And don't discount the Australians. They're having quite a good series this year. They were second in World Cup 2 there. But looking across the field, in this one of the most powerful events, 38 of the biggest units that you'll find at a canoe regatta, this is the men's K4. And lots of fans here to appreciate it, enjoy it as the sun comes out at Duisburg, and it is indeed the blonde-haired Marcus Gross, 2-time junior world medal gold champion, or 2 times junior world champion back in 2007 at Data Vichicha. He's spearheading the German effort there in lane 4 as they come in down towards the 500 metres. And the Russians are handily placed there out in lane number 2. Slovakia in lane 6 aren't too far away either. They're going to make sure they're in the dust cloud at the end of the race. In Australia, consisting of Tate Smith, Matthew Urquhart, Murray Stewart there, and Jacob Clear. They're up there as well. And they've moved right up to be closing down on the Germans. So the Germans spearheading the race, flanked by Russia out there in 2, and Australia in 7. These are the key protagonists as we move down towards the 750 mark, with Slovakia with that very experienced 2 crew of Ritzdorfer, Czech and Tar also there, but we're watching the Russians. Timing also important in this big boats, the K4, to move those boats with maximum efficiency, and it's the guy right in the front of the boat on the left-hand side that sets the pattern and the rhythm. And they move down towards the 200. And from the screen on the far side, it looks to be with the Russians, taking the Germans through. The Germans in lane number 5, and the Australians with the gold vests and the green boat representing their country with pride in lane 7. And they're moving down now towards the red boys, and it looks like Russia are having it. Germany have up the rate. Gross has pulled it, and he's asking for more from these guys. And can the Russians hold it, or are the Germans going to push through? The Germans are in 3, the Russians are in 2. Will the black boat or the white boat get the win? This is going to be very close. It looks like it's Russia's day, with Germany second in 4, and Australia, the gold vest of Australia, having to settle for bronze today in lane number 7. So the Russians doing a really good job there, just pulling back the German crew, overtaking them in the second half of the race, and hanging on to that lead despite a lot of pressure coming from Gross, Brockel, Gleinhardt and Hoff. Just not quite enough to wrest the gold away from the Russian crew, with 3rd place going to Australia. That's great racing. That's what we all come here for. It's for the excitement over the last 250 metres. You can see how the strategy's changed. The Germans holding up, but the Russians look just that bit stronger coming into the final section. And the prize was theirs. And again, yes, the Germans will have a few thoughts to make as we look at the Australian crew. Again, as I say, look at all the spray flying. Big starts, lots of pumping action from those legs, getting the blades going round, and then looking to hold the form all the way down the course. Synchronicity just so important when you're coming to big crew boats. And you can see that the Germans just had a marginal advantage. They led the Russians through the 500, but the Russians weren't going to stop there. They actually got the foot down on the accelerator. And coming into the closing stages, they took a bit of a lead out of that German four. And they just managed to hold on to it, to cross the line, and take the big medal of the day. The big medal goes to Russia in lane 2, Germany second in 4, having to settle for silver, and a good bronze for the Australian 4. There you see Tate Smith, 3 or 4 of these guys, surf lifesavers, but this is the Russian crew, spearheaded by Ilya Medvedev. I'm sure they'll be working hard, making sure that rhythm and tempo is spot on, but they did enough today to take the gold medal, and that will be going back to Moscow and Russia with them today. That's the end of the racing for this morning. The final event of the Olympic A finals, that was the men's k-4 1000 meters.